Hi everyone, my name is Caris and welcome back to my corner of the internet where I talk about books and other things that I enjoy. Today's video is a little bit different and it's the start of a 3, possibly 4-part series on my channel where I try and find my perfect reading time. So something that I've realised, particularly as I've been taking part in more sprints, is how much I value having a portion of time set aside to dedicate to just reading, which in turn got me thinking about how when I was younger I used to have a dedicated time every single day where I would read. I used to read for half an hour before bed every single night without fail, and there'd be other times in the day where I'd read as well, but no matter what I would always know that half an hour before going to sleep I was going to pick up my book and get some reading done. So with that in mind, I decided that I wanted to really try and carve out a time in my day that I can dedicate half an hour ideally to sitting down with my book and reading. My hope overall for finding a time to dedicate to reading each day is that I'll be able to increase the amount that I'm reading and get more done, and also hopefully that I'm not wasting my time on other distractions. Obviously there's periods of time where I want to relax and I want to scroll on my phone doing nothing, but I feel like at this point in time I definitely do that too much, and I would like to just take away half an hour of the time that I dedicate to that, to procrastinating, and push that time towards reading. So that was the idea behind this video series, and then I realised that I don't actually know which time of the day would work best for me in terms of fitting reading into a routine. So I thought I would make a series of videos where I try and read for just a week for half an hour at a certain time. So this week's video is half an hour of reading before bed. The next one that I do is going to be half an hour of reading first thing in the morning, and then I'm going to do half an hour of reading at lunchtime, and then I think I'll do a final video sort of like summarising all the different weeks and talking about them in comparison to each other and talking about which one I thought would work best for me. So as I said, for this first week I'm going to be doing half an hour of reading before bed. Now I've actually already finished this challenge. I just wanted to jump on and do a little intro and then a little summary at the end of the video. So here's day one. So it's day one of my reading before bed challenge. You can see that I'm currently in bed. I'm actually tucked up in my duvet, but you can't quite see that in the shot, but I am because it is freezing. Also, if you can hear the rain, there's like no room above my bedroom, it's just the roof, and it's quite loud tonight, but that's, you know, cozy vibes. That's what we're aiming for here. I want to get back into that little routine that I had when I was younger, and I just want to see if there's any other benefits that come with reading before bed. Like, do I feel like I go to sleep quicker? Because I definitely have the tendency to feel like I'm ready for sleep and then be like, oh, I'll just have a little look at TikTok, which such a bad decision of mine to download TikTok. All of this before bed is not good, so I want to see if I wake up in the morning feeling more refreshed, but I also want to see what difference it makes to my reading. For today I'm going to be starting out by reading at least half an hour of Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. I'm currently on page 268 and this is about 325 pages, so I don't think I'll finish it if I just read for half an hour, but we'll see how I feel afterwards. It's currently about 11:30, so if I read for half an hour I'll be reading until midnight, and really I should be trying and getting a few earlier nights in because I've been back at work and I need to sort out my sleep schedule. So maybe throughout the course of the vlog, if I actually get to bed earlier and do my reading straight away, then that will help with me getting to sleep earlier. But for today we're starting a bit later, you know, this is the start of the week. It just means that we've got, you know, a bigger journey to go on. So yeah, I'm going to start this now. I'm going to put a timer on my phone and I'll update in half an hour's time with how far I've gotten and then probably go to bed. Okay, so my half an hour timer just went off and I got to page 317, so I'm not sure exactly how many pages that is, but I think it's like 40 or 45. I'll put the actual number on the screen somewhere. I'm loving this book so much. Oh, there was a bit just that I just read that I literally nearly cried at, but I will talk about it properly in my wrap up. I'm not going to like go into too much depth about the books that I'm reading in this video just because that's not what this is. And I have to say I really enjoyed the experience of just like zoning out for half an hour, and I feel so much more relaxed than what I normally do when I've just been on like the internet or TikTok, social media before bed. So I think this challenge is going to go really well. However, I do only have 10 pages of this left, so I can't go to bed with only 10 pages, so I'm going to finish it. So I'm going to do like a weekly reading before bed page count, so I will include the extra 10 pages on that as well, and altogether I reckon I'll have read for about 35 minutes. So it's day 2 of reading before bed every night for a week. So although I went to bed quite late yesterday, I actually woke up not super early, but I got up maybe about like half an hour earlier than what I would normally get up at. I slept for like the same amount of time as I normally do, but I feel like I felt more sort of ready to take on the day, and I don't know if that was actually because of the book or because that was a coincidence, but I guess we're just gonna have to keep going with this little journey and see. So I actually did finish Little and Lion last night after putting the camera down, which means that I am going to be reading a different book today. I've got it in here, which is my little book jacket thing, which I just love so much. I think it's so cute. It's Alice in Wonderland theme, so I just wanted to show that. I moved on to The Way Past Winter by Kieran Millward Hargrave. I'm really hoping that I can finish this over the next couple of days because it's super short and I really want to move on to a couple of other books this week. I read a bit of it earlier before I started work and I'm on page 48 and I only read it for about half an hour then, so I'm thinking if I do another half an hour little sprint by myself again, then I should get to around page 100 and then I'll be just under halfway done with this book, and then hopefully I can finish it up tomorrow. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's already gone midnight though. Oh, I'm the worst, so I am a bit tired, but I am gonna try and challenge myself to the 30 minutes because I reckon getting that bit of reading done, even if it means that I go to bed a bit later, actually helps with the quality of sleep that I'm getting. At least that's the theory, and I don't want to fail the challenge on day 2. So that's what I'm going to do now. Pick this book up, read for another half an hour, then I'll let you know how many pages I've read tonight, and then I will get some sleep in. Okay, I've literally had to lie down because I'm so tired. Like, my eyes are that burning level of tired. But I did my 30 minutes of reading. I read to page 80, so I read just over 30 pages, which was a lot less than I'd expected to read in half an hour. I would say for like adult fiction, I tend to read about a page a minute, so 30 pages in half an hour would be expected, but for middle grade or quicker reads, then I tend to get through like more like 50 pages because the writing tends to be bigger or there tends to be fewer words to a page. And as I said, I read roughly 50 pages of that this morning in half an hour, but I read a bit more because, to be honest, the first 10 minutes I read about one or two pages because my brain was just wandering off here, there and everywhere. I couldn't like concentrate. I think being so tired didn't help either, but my mind was just wandering. You know, 30 pages is still good, and I can't remember how many pages I read yesterday, but I would say that I've done pretty well these past 2 days with the amount of pages I've read in the evenings, and I'm just so excited to see what we get to by the end of the week. It's day 3 of reading before bed. At this point I really hate myself because it's midnight. So much for going to bed earlier, but tonight I have been trying to catch up on my watch later playlist because it was like 80 videos long, but as it was nearly midnight I decided that it was time to come to bed, do my half an hour of reading and then get to sleep at about 12:30. But before I do that, as always, a little update on today, or yesterday, seeing as it's tomorrow now. I think I slept well again. I slept like similarly to the night before. One thing that I have noticed that does relate to reading before bed, I think, is that there were several points throughout the day where I thought to myself, oh, I could read, and then I thought, oh no, well I've got my half an hour designated reading slot tonight, so then I didn't, which you might think, well, that is a bad thing because you've turned down like multiple opportunities for reading in favour of reading once. Why wouldn't you want to read like then and read now? But the thing is, as I think I've said before, I do this thing to myself where I say I'm going to go and read and then I don't. I will come up to my room, I'll sit on my bed or I'll sit on the sofa downstairs and I will have the book like in front of me, or maybe even just on the sofa or the bed next to me, and I will be on my phone or my laptop or just not reading. I just feel like I'm wasting time, and then I feel guilty because I said I was going to read and I didn't. Whereas like, either just tell yourself that you're going to have half an hour of doing nothing, or read or do something else. So today, because I was saying to myself, oh no, you're not going to use this time for reading because you're going to read in the evening, I feel like I did productive things instead, which is good. So I feel like I've been way more productive today. So like, I went for a run, I filmed my video, I've edited most of my video, and to be honest, if I'd have like said to myself, oh, I'm gonna read for half an hour at like 5 o'clock this evening, I wouldn't have filmed my video because I would have picked up my book, put it next to me, and then scrolled on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or whatever for a few hours probably. I feel like even if I only read for this half an hour in the evening, I'm still reading more per day than what I would have been if I'd have read in sporadic little 5-minute bursts throughout the day. So that's really good. But yeah, I'm going to have my daily half an hour of reading. I might read a bit more than half an hour. My mind isn't as all over the place as it was yesterday, so I'm hoping that I can just focus on this and get at least 50 pages read. I haven't read any further than yesterday, so I'm still on page 80. I would like to get to page, like, I don't know, 130 would be good. 150 would be even better if I decide to read for a little more than half an hour. We'll see how I feel. Yesterday I got really tired. Even though I wasn't feeling tired to begin with, I got really tired towards the end of the half an hour, so we'll see. Hello everyone. Oh my gosh, ignore the state of me. I am going to wash my hair in the morning. So we've had our first fail of the challenge. So the last clip that you saw was me beginning to read in bed 2 nights ago, so I was going to update on that last night, and then I didn't do the reading before bed last night. So 2 nights ago, I think I read about 40 pages that night, so not as much as I'd wanted to, but I was so tired, so I just decided to call it a night and go to sleep, and that's why I didn't pick up the camera to film again. And then yesterday I was on a Zoom until like after midnight, and then I just couldn't be bothered to get into bed and read again. I was really tired. That's okay. We're trying to assess whether reading before bed is my ideal portion of time to read in the day, and I think it's been going pretty well so far. I mean, we're past the halfway point of the week now, and I think it's been really good for me. I've really enjoyed it. I've really looked forward to having that bit of time to sit down and read. Even today, even though I've done quite a lot of reading already because I did sprints this morning, I've been like looking forward to coming to bed and picking my book up. Realistically, when life goes back to some degree of normality, I'm not going to do it every single evening, because there are going to be nights when I'm out somewhere, and like once a week me and my best friend do, like, either we go to the pub because I live right next door to the pub, or we'll just get a bottle of wine and sit on my sofa and watch trash TV and just chat. And you know, that'll go on until midnight, past midnight, and then I'm not going to get into bed and read. So I think realistically, there's never going to be one time where you can for sure say this is what I will do every single day for the rest of my life. But it's all about finding the best balance. So that's something to think on. But we're back today to do another half an hour of reading. Today I finished The Way Past Winter on the sprints that I was doing, or just after the sprints. So I'm starting a new book, and I'm going to be reading This Winter by Alice Oseman. I think really, if I read this for half an hour, I'm going to have read like most of this, I reckon. I've read like 10 pages so far, and in total it's like 100 or so pages. So I'm going to put the timer on for half an hour, but if I'm really far through it, I might just see if I can finish this off, because like that would be so satisfying to have finished all of this in one go. It's 11 now, so it's actually earlier than other nights, so that is good. Okay, so the half an hour timer just went, and I am on page 95. I knew it was short, but the pages are quite spaced out. There's not really that many words on a page because there's like big lines, big gaps between each line, if you can see, like this. So I've got through it a lot quicker than I thought I would. So I've only got like, what, 10 pages or so left, so I'm definitely going to finish it before going to bed. So I will add the final page count, which will be the total of this book, minus the 10 pages that I read earlier. I will add that to the running total. I have absolutely no idea what I'm up to now, but I must be like over 200, right, with this. So that's pretty good to have been able to read like pretty much this whole thing in the space of, I guess it'll be like 40 minutes in total. It's like, oh, so satisfying, and I've really enjoyed it. It's just a really cute, quick, wintry read that I think I will definitely return to like on a Christmas day or something next year, because it actually takes place on Christmas Day. But yes, so I'm going to sign off for tonight now, because I don't think I'll read anything after finishing this, and I will see you again tomorrow. Hi everyone, it's Thursday night now, and this is the last night that I'm going to be doing this challenge for. I don't remember which night I started it on last week. I just did my half an hour of reading. I didn't pick up the camera to record beforehand, and I've managed 30 pages tonight, so I will put on screen somewhere my final total of the number of pages that I managed to read just by reading in the evenings for a week. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have had a couple of nights off from doing this, and I did think about it, and I was like, maybe I could just extend the challenge to have done the equivalent number of days of the week. But then I thought, that's not really what this challenge is about. It wasn't so much like trying to force myself to read every night for a week. It was more about trying to find when the best time is for me, what would work best for me to fit in half an hour, even 15 minutes of reading as part of my routine. And when I've done the morning and the lunchtime challenges for this, I think I'll have a better picture of what works best. It has been really good for me in certain ways, like I have really enjoyed doing it. As I've said earlier in the week, there have been some days when I've really wanted to pick up my book and I've been really keen to do it, but then other nights I haven't been, and I just figured the point of it is not to force myself to do something that I don't want to do. And ultimately there's not going to be one perfect time that's going to always work out and I'm always going to be able to read, but I just was curious to see which works best. I thought it was going to be the evenings, but I'm not sure. I feel like mornings might work quite well as something good to start the day, so I'm going to be doing that one next. I think the problem that I've had with reading before bed is my sleep schedule and the time that I'm going to bed and the time that I'm settling down to read, because by the time I am ready to do that I'm just so tired and I think, well, I may as well just go to sleep now and get that extra half an hour of sleep instead of reading. It's really bad because I don't think the same way about things like going on my phone or watching YouTube or whatever. Like even tonight it's half midnight and before reading I was watching Drag Race and I didn't care that it was going to be going on till late, even though I was really tired. I'm going to go to bed now because I'm so tired again, but I'll do my little wrap up on this video tomorrow. So yes, that was the end of my reading for half an hour before bed. I feel like I summed up a lot of my thoughts in that final clip, but just quickly here to round off the video, I think I did pretty well. I think I went into this week with the mindset of having to find a time that would always work for me without fail and trying to see if evenings would be that time. I think realistically, whatever time of day I pick, it's never going to be perfect for me every single time because life happens, things come up, and that's completely fine. I think it's all about finding a balance and finding what might work best for me most of the time, but then saying, oh well, this might work as well on some days. I think ultimately what will come out of these 3 weeks is just the idea of trying to prioritize reading, and then as I get more used to my schedules and trying to fit reading in, I will find what works best for me on different days of the week and at different times and things like that. But as far as reading before bed goes, I think it went pretty well, and I think I read a fair amount, and I also read other bits during the week as well. I wasn't just reading at that time, so I feel like overall in the week I did read more than what I would typically read through the course of a week, especially at the moment with not really having the best reading speed lately. I think, as I was saying in that final clip, evenings would be perfect for me most of the time if I just got into bed and did it straight away. So that's something that I really need to work on, is those distractions. If I get into bed at 10 ready to read or do whatever, then I can make that decision whether I want to read, whether I want to watch an episode of TV. I'm not going to beat myself up for doing other things, but I think I need to be mindful and basically make a decision about what I'm going to do and then do it. Don't say that I'm going to read and then scroll on my phone and then not do it, because then that's when I do feel guilty. I think it's just about trying to get into a bit of a better routine. I hope that's making sense. That's everything for reading before bed for a week. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to doing the reading every morning for week 1 next, starting from tomorrow I guess, and seeing how the results of that turn out. And as I say, when I finish this challenge I'll be able to do a proper little wrap up of how each challenge went and my final thoughts on fitting reading into a routine, because obviously with having just done the one part of the challenge it's a bit more difficult to say what I think is going to work best. But I think I have already developed a bit of an idea that I have to be a bit less rigid and a bit more flexible with finding a time of day that is the most convenient for me. Other than that though, that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comments if you have a scheduled portion of reading in your day. I would love to know. I would love to hear any tips and tricks you also have for sorting out my sleep schedule. But other than that, that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're all keeping safe and staying well, and I will see you again next time. Bye.